Do I sound different with my hearing aids out? You bet I do, and I'm going to talk about it more in today's video. Hey there, my name is Emily. I created Definite Hearing as a way to increase awareness for the deaf and hard of hearing. I live with hearing loss every day of my life. I was diagnosed with my moderate to severe congenital, which means it's genetic, bilateral, both sides, hearing loss, at birth, and my parents fit me with hearing aids when I was 4 months old. So I would say that I know a lot about life with hearing devices. So let's talk about when I take my hearing devices out. What happens to my voice or my speech? Well, naturally my voice or my speech gets louder. I subconsciously increase the volume of my voice because I can't hear it and I want to hear it. And so I increase the volume. So for those around me, they notice my volume level increases. Now for me, I usually do not notice that my volume has increased unless I'm consciously decreasing my voice, making an effort to whisper, or unless someone tells me. Now, because I wear hearing devices during all waking hours, that means from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, my brain is very accustomed to hearing my voice at a certain volume. So when I take my hearing aids out, because I have a moderate to severe hearing loss, naturally there's a huge gap between how I hear with hearing aids and how I hear without hearing aids. So that's one reason the volume of my voice or my speech naturally increases when I take my hearing aids out. Now, like I mentioned, it's not very often that I'm awake and have my hearing aids out. So typically volume is the only thing that I'm experiencing with speech changes when my hearing aids come out. Now, let's talk about if I had the wrong amplification or like the wrong hearing aids for my loss for a while, or if I kept my hearing aids out for say a month, 2 months, 3 months at a time. How would that impact my voice or my speech? The answer is it would greatly impact my voice or my speech. I am constantly practicing how to alliterate and how to speak. Not consciously, but subconsciously. And this is one reason that hearing fatigue for deaf and hard of hearing people, especially those wearing amplification devices, is such a real thing. All right, so story time. When I was in high school, I actually experienced a decline in my hearing, which meant that it was a lot harder for me to understand what I was hearing. Now, we learned that I was in the wrong devices, the wrong amplification for my hearing loss. In that episode, my hearing did come back through some medicines and medical intervention. I did experience speech therapy, but years down the road, we found out that I should have been in a behind the ear hearing aid, which is what I'm wearing today. At that time, I was in a receiver in the canal hearing aid. And a receiver in the canal hearing aid, especially at that time, it was slim tubes, smaller hearing aid, and flat out just less power. So for my moderate to severe hearing loss, I should have and am now in a behind the ear hearing aid. It just has the higher processing power that I need for my moderate to severe hearing loss. I didn't consciously realize that I was having trouble with my speech. It actually usually requires a person that is close to the hard of hearing or deaf person to help them realize that like you don't sound the same to help that person receive the help. So in my case, it was my mother who pointed out that I just wasn't speaking well, I wasn't understanding well, and when I started tuning in, I realized I can't understand anything. Like, this is bad. Because the way that my hearing works is typically I'm hearing and I'm trying to understand. And that process of understanding takes so much energy that sometimes I don't realize that I'm not really understanding. So for me, my speech specifically, I was dropping the consonants or the ends of words off. So instead of saying the cats ran, I was saying the cat ran. Like I wasn't finishing my consonants. I wasn't adding the S's or the T's. I just started sounding less articulate and my words were more blurry and my speech was becoming more muffled or nasally. And again, I didn't realize that because I didn't have sharp acuity in my ability to hear. So what that required was visits to the audiologist, fine-tuning my hearing aids, and then going to speech therapy to help me utilize tools that would remind me consciously to put the consonants on the ends of my words. Now, that is how my speech changed because of poor hearing aid amplification. Let's talk about how my speech changes if I were to take out my hearing aids for a month, 2 months, 3 months at a time. I would experience that muffled, blurry speech to a higher degree. My speech would not be as clear, it would not be as concise, and it would be more difficult to understand. Now, for me, it would sound pretty much the same without my amplification, and I probably would be speaking louder as well. So just the whole picture is, if someone's used to wearing hearing aids and they're not, their voice will likely get louder for the short term. If someone has poor amplification, their pronunciation and voice acuity will definitely decline. If someone does not wear any amplification for a prolonged period of time, this is more likely to sound blurry and muffled and dull, I would say, depending on how long they've gone without amplification and what degrees of hearing loss they have in each ear, and how that incorporates with their brain and processing sound. There are so many variables. So this video kind of leads into deaf speech and what is it. I'm going to share more about deaf speech next week, so if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to making more hearing loss related content and talking about these important things that impact our lives on a daily basis. If you have any more questions about my speech when I take my hearing aids out, please let me know in the comments below. Also, if you have any video requests, I want to know in the comments below. This video came about because someone requested it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye.